It really is magic, isn't it?
This might not be exciting for a lot of people. It's not the biggest.
Welcome to the time that you found magic in a bottle. No, but for real, welcome to another pot of your mother's homemade noodles. And in today's video, I'm going to do something a little bit different to what we normally do on this channel. I found a paint, and I'm pretty sure it's magic. And in order to show this paint, the best thing I could think of was to make jewelry. No, you're not going to be able to wear this, and it's probably more for shows than anything else, but the outcome is still really cool. So this is the parts that came out of the machine. This is what they look like with the supports on. I have to remove these supports, and the best way I find is to warm up the part, and I use warm water to warm up these parts, and the parts just fall right off. I then need to sand these pieces because obviously the supports will leave some marks, especially on smooth round jewelry pieces like this. I spend my time sanding it with a sanding sponge from Tamir. I also use quite a rougher sandpaper to get some of the bigger pieces off. Then there was this piece that goes on the inside to round off the inside of the ring. It was a bit of a struggle to get this part in, I won't lie, but eventually I got it stuck in and sanded off all the pieces that were left over and made it nice and smooth to fit very nice. I spent my time sanding this, making sure that it was smooth because I wanted it to look as perfect as possible. There's also a decorative back to this pendant, which I then glued in and sanded off all the edges that were left over and sanded all the marks left from the supports. I then used my nail bar, which I use as my UV curer, and cured the parts. Putting down a primer, I used Vallejo black primer. I mix it with a little bit of water just so that it flows a bit easier through my airbrush. I spray this as perfectly flat as possible. One of the nice properties of this primer is that it flattens by itself. I spray all the parts with this black because black is going to be the best base for a silver or any metallic really. That piece was not meant to fly away. Now using the bottle of magic, I'm going to pour this into my airbrush, and I didn't thin this at all. This went straight through my airbrush exactly how it came out the bottle, albeit a little bit bitty. There's something magic about this paint. I'm not sure how to describe it, but as you layer it on top of itself, it just starts to shine. I can't really explain it, but I layered the paint on, it looked like silver paint, and then after about 30 seconds and a couple more layers, it just starts to look like chrome. I can't explain it at all, but it truly is magic. I used liquid gold from Vallejo to coat the bees, and the bees got a solid coating of this metallic paint. I took a satin black and I painted the eyes and the stripes on the bees. Being really careful not to go off the lines. This isn't too complicated to do, but I did spend my time and make sure that it was as tidy and neat as possible. God, I spent more time on this than I thought. I then used the gloss and coated the bees. You can't gloss this metallic chrome. At least from everything I tried, I could not gloss the metallic chrome. If I glossed it or put anything clear over the top, it instantly dulled the shine and it no longer looked like chrome. I used super glue to stick these bees on. It's nothing too fancy. Like I said, this is not really functional jewelry, but a little bit of super glue, placed them in place and just stuck them down. And that's the final product. This is what it ended up coming out like. And as you can see, this paint is really truly magic. I can't believe the qualities it has, and the uses for this kind of paint is endless. I'm totally gonna paint anything that's a sword or made of metal in this paint from now on. The only thing that I have a problem with this paint is that you cannot clear coat it. If any kind of clear coat over the top instantly dulls the finish on this paint. So unfortunately, you cannot put a wash, you cannot put a clear coat, you pretty much can't really protect it. So you want to use it on a part that's not going to be so important. Either way, I really thought that was epic. And if you thought it was epic too, click the like button and consider giving us a subscription, because for every subscription we get, we have one more subscription. Also, don't forget, I have a Patreon. If you like this video and would like to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to join the Patreon. That will support me and also give you a link to speak to me every day in our Discord. I'd like to thank all the patrons that have joined the Patreon and Patreon. Thank you for watching the video, and if you didn't like it, there's nothing else I can say to you, bruh. Just click dislike and f*** off.